What is going on, everyone? Vlad Killjoy back again with another beginner's guide. I think I want to call this series from noob to pro. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below if y'all like that title. If not, then throw out some suggestions for me, because I really don't know what to call this series. But today we are going to talk about editing, because editing is a huge part of Fortnite, so you really need to know how to edit, what are the most optimal edits, and just different things on how to improve your editing skills. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna start off in creative, and I'm gonna go into one of these portals over here with a free build area and just kind of show you some optimal edits. Y'all probably realize that this is the same map that I used in a previous video on how to build. So the most optimal edits that y'all will probably make in game. Offensively, let's talk about the window edits. Okay, with the window edits, you always want to make sure that you have the right hand peek. So say before you confirm that edit, you want to make sure you go to the left, so that way you always have that right hand peek. Same with this side. This side's a little bit harder because it does kind of expose you just a bit. And this middle window edit, this one's really tricky because a lot of times they can still see you. So you really have to hug this corner really difficultly, really hard. So those are the window edits. I like this window edit because it gives you enough room to kind of hug the corner and get shots off. The next one, as y'all probably know already, is the peanut butter edit, which is this. This is a really good one, and also it's one of those that you want to make sure that you hug the edge before you confirm the edit, so that way you have that right hand peek. Same with this side. It's not really that optimal, but depending on the situations, you can set up a right hand peek like this as well. Another edit is the top row edit. This is a really good one because you can duck behind it and then get a shot off as well. And then if you're ever just moving about, this edit's pretty good. I wouldn't use this in a fight because, as you can see, it makes you completely open for a shot. It's too big of an edit. It exposes your body way too much, so I'd stick with these peanut butter edits. This edit is probably going to be the edit that you do most frequently. Whereas the window edit's really good for piece controlling, which I'll talk about in a different video. Don't worry about piece control at this point, as you're just starting off and trying to get into the edits. These are really good. Also, the floor edits are going to be good, and also pyramid edits. Like in the building guide, when you're doing the 3-piece, if you're pushing up on someone, these cone edits are going to be a lifesaver. And you really want to get into the habit of being able to push up while editing cones. And the best way to do this is say if you're on this right side and you place a cone, you kind of want to go through the left side because it will actually give you more time. And once we get into more of the advanced stuff, you start getting into the double edits, even with the triple edits. Triple edits are kind of difficult, but once you really learn how to do it, it's not that difficult. But triple edits, we'll talk about that in another advanced guide. But those are really the edits that you're gonna want to practice. And now I'm gonna show y'all a little training routine that you can do, because stair edits are probably one of the things that I struggle with the most. Really, you want to start off with floor and stair, and you want to get into the habit of being able to edit the stair kind of quickly. And then once you've got that mastered, you can throw in the walls. It's really good practice. It helps with crosshair placement and also edits. Stair edits are one of those things that I've struggled with for the longest time. And this technique right here has really helped me out with stair edits. And like I've said in all the guides, make sure you do them slow at first. Build that muscle memory. So that way you can sooner or later start doing them a lot quicker. And the maps that I'm about to show you will really help with building that muscle memory and not stressful situations. So let's jump into some other maps real quick. First map that I'm going to show you is from Raider464. He makes amazing maps for pretty much anything that has to do with mechanics training. So this map has a lot of good things in it that I'm going to show y'all that y'all really need to implement into y'all's daily routine to help y'all get better at editing. There's a lot of piece control drills in here as well, but we're not going to worry about those in today's video. We're going to go over here to the edit timing. Now, what edit timing is pretty much the time that it takes for you to get the edit and then be able to have the pieces selected. And what you want to do here is you want to make sure that as soon as you click the edit, you don't see any blue on the sections that you want to edit. So for instance, these two tiles, as you can see, when I click edit, they're already gray, except for right there. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you're going forward and backwards. You want to make sure that you're able to do it both ways. And when you're doing it, make sure that you hold the edit before confirming. It'll help with other muscle memory stuff later on, because there are some situations where you want to hold the edit and make sure that your crosshairs lined up with the enemy before you make that edit, so that way you can take that shot quickly and not, receive any damage in return. So you want to make sure that you do this for the double tiles, for single tiles, and then do it both ways. Forward, backwards. And this thing goes down a long way. So it's a lot of good practice. And you want to make sure when you're making edits, you want to go the shortest distance possible. So there's no need in like just going all the way across, because one, that's going to take a lot longer for you to make that edit. And in a game like Fortnite, when every second counts, you want to make sure that you're going the shortest distance. So like this, like the shortest distance, you're not going to have to move your crosshair as much, which makes it a lot easier to line up your shot with the enemy that's behind the edit that you're about to make as well. And it just speeds things up. So when you're in battle, every second counts. So making sure that you just move your crosshair as little as possible when making these edits is going to help you out and improve your skills at Fortnite tremendously. And now you don't have to do this entire thing here if you don't want to. I highly recommend you do it. But if you get halfway through it and you feel like, okay, I've had enough of this edit timing, all you have to do is emote and you'll go back. So the next thing I want to talk about is this right over here, Crosshair Training. Now with this, I want you to, not practice the edit timing on this section. This section's all about, crosshair training. So what you want to do is you want to come over here, reset the wall, and make sure that you follow this red line with your crosshair. It's going to show you the most optimal way of making that edit. And it's going to build that muscle memory of doing the edits in the shortest time span that you can. So I'd spend about, maybe a minute or so, 2 minutes on each of these drills. And you can even like make up different, positionings for them. You can stand over here and try to do the edit, or say if this wasn't here and you're underneath a stair and you need to get through, you can set up different scenarios, but you want to really make sure that you're keeping your crosshair on the red line. As you can see, I'm kind of going over it, but that's fine. You're not going to be able to get it down first day. But if you do this every day, I guarantee you your edits are going to become a lot smoother. And building this muscle memory just starting out on editing will make you surpass everybody else at your current skill level, because your edits are going to be a lot quicker, they're going to be a lot smoother, and your crosshair placement is going to be a lot better when it comes to actually having to shoot the opponent, because when you make this edit, your crosshair's already in the center where the enemy is going to be. So the way you don't want to do it is like this, because then your crosshair's over here and you're going to have to like flick over to the opponent. So making sure that you center your crosshair afterwards. I mean, you can start over here as long as you come up and you end in the center, right? So as long as you got that down, that's all you need. And make sure that you're doing it on the left side and the right side, so that way you have muscle memory for both sides. Because given situations, you may need to edit out this way and, you know, run through or get away or something, you know. And then there's also the peanut butter edits like we talked about. And with these being the most optimal edits that you're going to make in game, in like real situations, you really want to practice this one. You just want to keep your crosshair on the red line. You can do it both ways. It really doesn't matter. I like doing it from the bottom up, because then, you know, it lines up my crosshair pretty well for me to just jump across or jump up and get that shot off on the opponent. Like I said, you want to always make sure to hug the left, so that way you're completely covered and you can get a big shot off without them returning damage on you, like so. And then we have the top row edit, which, you know, obviously on this one you want to just like make sure that you get all 3 blocks without having to go like from over here all the way across, because 1, that's going to take a lot longer to make that edit. 2, your crosshair is now over here when your enemy's right there. So making this edit like this, you in your crosshair pretty much center, and then you can just peek above it. I like to make this one and then crouch, so that way like I'm hidden behind this wall, so I can get a little sneaky shot. This one you can practice, but it's not, I haven't really found a way to use this edit in game yet, but I'm sure you could. Also, you can do the same thing with practicing like this side with these 3, because this one I've actually used. So say if I'm like pressuring someone's wall from above, this is how I normally like to edit when I'm above. So I'll do like this edit so I can really get a shot on them, and from above they're not really going to have a shot on you, but it completely opens up that edit. And a lot of times they'll even try to like place a wall because they'll think there's not a wall there. So that's also a really good edit to practice that there's not really a scenario for, but it's the same concept as these top rows. You want to just make sure that you're going the least distance possible. And that's the routines that you want to do here. Now, in a later video, I'll go over these piece control ones, but I'm not going to worry about that in today's video. Let's go check out the other map that's pretty good for editing, and also a lot of other combat training stuff too, but we're going to focus on the editing portion of it. And just so y'all know, all these codes for these maps, they're going to be on the screen and also down in the description below. All right, the next course that we're going to talk about is the Get Good Edit course and Aim Trainer. This one I've used for the longest time. It's really good for edits and just overall mechanically good practice. All right, so it's going to start you off here. Sometimes you have to go into the menu and start game. Luckily this time I don't have to do it. And you're just going to go down these stairs and you're going to just practice your edits. Try to do it in the least amount of time possible as far as like making the edit. So going the least amount of distance that you can, like so. And then there's also enemies behind some of these edits. So you can practice doing the right hand peeks on the window edits. Oh yeah, stair edits as well. Okay, so if you want to just flip the stair, right? Because I haven't talked about stair edits in this video. If you want to flip a stair, you don't have to go all the way across like this. That's going to be the longest way that you can do the stair edit. If you just want to flip it, you can go from this corner to this corner, or vice versa. This corner to this corner, and it'll flip the stair like that. That's going to be the quickest way to do stair edits and the most efficient way of doing stair edits if you just want to flip them. Now, if you want to cut them in half or something, you're going to have to go all the way across. But just flipping it, you can go from the center to the edge, and it'll flip the stairs. And then you got edit downs as well, which, like I said previously, you want to make sure that you are going the shortest distance that you can. Right here, resets and re-edits. Always make sure that you're hugging the left side, so that way you get a right hand peek on these enemies. And then you got little 90 part right here, which if you watched my building guide for beginners, you'll know how to do 90s efficiently. And this is really good practice too. Overall, this is just a great map to help build those mechanical skills. On this one, there's actually an enemy right there. So as you're falling down, you can practice your shots like that too. And then you got this section where, so you edit up the cone, reset the cone, but jump before you reset, so that way you're on top of the cone, and then you edit up. This is where you can practice your waterfalling, which I didn't really talk too much about in the building guide, but pretty much what you want to do is you want to just turbo build walls down and then catch yourself with a stair about 3 tiles down. And right here, you can make a little window peek. Hold that right hand angle to be able to get shots off on them. And then waterfall down some more. And you can do the same thing here. On this one, flip the stair, edit up. And just so y'all know, when you flip the stair, you're lined up perfectly to be able to do the corner edit. And that's how you want to go about editing multiple pieces, is when you finish doing the first edit, like so, you want to make sure that your crosshair is lined up to be able to do the second edit. This is probably the hardest part of this map right here. We'll talk about this in another video as well. If you want to skip this part, that's perfectly fine. If you want to get ahead of the game, this is what you need to do. This is what we like to call side jumps. So you pretty much want to jump up, place a floor like so, and then land on top of the ramp, right? And then even when you get here, you can practice flipping the ramp, flip this ramp, and then do it all over again. I think it goes up like 4 times. Jump out midway, and you want to land like on this corner, so that way you land on the stair instead of landing underneath the stair. I don't expect y'all to be able to do this. This is very difficult. It took me a long time to learn this. And like I said, I'll go into further detail in another video on how to successfully do these side jumps. All right, the next part is tunneling. It's going to be kind of difficult, but the best part is the wall replaces. Don't really focus on the tunneling for now. Practice on the wall replacing and making the edits and being able to hit the target. And make sure, I cannot stress this enough, make sure that you're doing it at a right hand peek, because that's going to save you a lot of trouble in the long run when it comes down to like muscle memory and actual fights. So you can do the peanut butter edit here, you can do the window edits, you can even do the top row edits to practice those as well. Here you just want to you want to edit the cones, edit through the wall. So it's pretty much going to look like this. It helps you get the edits quickly in a kind of staggered motion, because you have 3 edits that you have to do before going on to the next set. So being able to edit back to back like that is going to help out a lot as well. In a lot of situations, you'll throw a floor and a cone over someone while they're in a box. And here you can practice your right hand peeks as well. And then we have a little mongrel classic here. If you do it like this, you can hug this wall for a right hand peek. And then we have one where if the enemy's above you as well, make this edit, and then you just jump up. This section is the exact same as the previous section, except reverse. So always make sure you're practicing the right hand peeks. Cannot stress that enough. You want to make sure you're kind of like below the floor, so that way the enemy can't see you if they're looking down in the box, unless they like overexpose themselves, and then just jump up and shoot. Voila, then you get into the combat section here, which is pretty fun. I'm not going to go into it. All right, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 500 subs, and I can't do it without y'all's help. So I'd really appreciate it if y'all would subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one. All right, bye.